Well, I did advanced theme switcher stop working, and why is my camera off again? God. Well, that's why we're doing today. I'm doing some changing of things around. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. You'll see me, but you won't hear me, which is probably fine for most. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, I got, a Logitech 920, and it's been serving me well for 8 years. I got two of them. I got one in front of me, one on the side. A few weeks, well, about more than a month back, I was using a Droid Cam, much better looking. Things worked really well, and the phone I was using overheated and stopped. The touchscreen stopped working. It was an older Samsung S8. I was doing my purpose. I had busted the screen on it a while ago. So I got to deal with the Logitech, and again, it looks like I keep going back from H.264 to MPEG move. What's it called? But like maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. All right, well, so I've been playing around. If you notice, I changed colors and I've been looking at different stuff. I was working on a new music player. Get that going. Some music going here. I wanted more of a static one where it doesn't go in and out. Just to kind of have a couple of them. I make them out of HTML, CSS, JS. And I do it. I do vibe code. I can get it. I'm working on kind of building my own, but there's a lot to learn in that. So I get it to a basic point, and then I work it from there. Well, I asked it to do a gray background, and I will change it later. And I actually like the gray that it picked out. And I was looking at borders, and I went to, W3 school. I was looking at border colors, and they had a thing with coral, and I decided just to grab that. So I did a coral color border with this gray, and it looks really nice. So I changed all my other colors. I changed my lower third where it would fade in and out to slide in and out. And actually, the way I have the icon kind of swing it, like it bumps out, and the bump out kind of makes it swing. I kind of like that. So I had recently combined both my time and weather together, where I had them fading in and out. But I changed the background on that, and then up above the commands, trying to just clean things up a little bit. I get to a point where I like to change things. So change the music player, and I change the lower thirds that'll pop out. And why isn't the chat working? Let me. Go into my chat, go into studio mode. Oh, probably because there's no one that's sent a message yet. That's what it is. So if you're out there, just send me a message. I have my name, and my bot's names are taken out. So even if I type a message in the chat, it's not going to come up. So I now, instead of along the bottom, I've gone back to where it will be on the side over here. And we'll see if I match the colors right. I think that's looking pretty cool. I'm pretty liking it. Let's see. I had gone back to my, here I am on Linux. I'm on my Endeavor OS because I'm going to be on this for a while as I start to rebuild my Windows setup. I'm in the process of getting all my scenes named properly and the actions that go with it or the filters that go with it, so I can find them a lot easier. Have been for years really bad. I will start a naming scheme and just like totally, I'm building something and it's like, okay, I'll just leave it that. On Linux, we don't have the ability to use because there's not a Linux version of it of Scene Tree. I know a couple of streamers, especially like Finite Singularity, that use it pretty well, and Scene Tree keeps things a little bit more organized. But it has helped out greatly in finding things and putting things in an order that OBS will find it. And then on the Windows side, because I am running OBS 32.2 32.2-2 on Endeavor OS. The maintainer, Titan, has done a nice job, has updated this relatively quickly. I'm not having any problems. I know I haven't updated over on Windows. I've seen a lot in the forum about people saying that they've had problems with the 32.2 update. I have not. My Windows is still 31.2. So that will be one of the things that I will be testing out. So I do both. Windows and Linux. I'm not I'm a Linux enthusiast. I mean, I use it pretty much every day as my daily driver, but I do not get crazy about it. I understand what people feel about Windows and all that. I don't know. I'm not noticing it in that. I keep hearing about ads in Windows 11, and I do not see ads. I don't know where people see them. I don't know where they pop up. And it has not. I think earlier this year it had there was an update that messed around with certain SSD cards that had a certain controller in them, which happened to be my backup drive where I was keeping a lot of my OBS stuff. And every time I would go and grab something from there to bring it in, the drive would disappear in Windows. That eventually got fixed. That was probably the worst that happened. And then there was an issue with, I think it more was with NVIDIA, which you'll find more and more, a little more problems over on Linux side at times. But over on Windows, it's pretty good. Plus on Windows, I get to use the NVIDIA AR stuff, which you can't really use on Linux. Well, it means a background remover, so I have to have a, different program to run a background removal. Because I wanted to get away from my green screen. That's why I got an NVIDIA 4060, so I can do the NVIDIA AR stuff. But on Linux, you can't. But I do got this one plugin. It's called the Background Removal Lite. So there's an OBS background removal. That's by one developer. And then there's OBS background removal Lite by another. This light one is, sorry to the first guy, the light one is much better. Not as much as you could see it if you do a lot of movement, it messes up. But for basically, it's not too bad. It's gotten better with the update. This is the one thing that I compiled myself, not with the help of the developer and his instructions. All my other, since I am on Endeavor OS and on an Arch-based system, all my OBS stuff is out of the AUR, and all the majority of the plugins are packaged by Titan, who does the OBS packaging for the AUR. If you get the OBS Studio Titan 652 build, you will have your closest experience to Windows or the Ubuntu setup if you're on Linux. Even more so than like the Flatpak, you're missing a lot of stuff, plus you're missing a lot of plugins. Not all plugins for Linux are built for Flatpak, and trying to manually put them in doesn't always work. So, and there's no tune-up plugin. There's no VLC connection in the Flatpak. So for me, I stay away from it. So I was going to go to an Ubuntu-based system because of a little bit of stuff with the AUR. Plus updates. If you update your OBS and you've downloaded it from the AUR, it can take up to 20 minutes at times because it's like rebuilding and all that. Whereas it's much quicker in Ubuntu. And of course, the Flatpak is much more quicker too. So I had been looking around. I don't want to deal with like snaps and all that. So I have very specific needs for what Ubuntu base I wanted to go to. For, I tried Zorn, which didn't really work out for me. There's a newer, it's been out for a couple years, but he's really working on it a lot. Anduin OS, if you like a GNOME-based desktop. Or a GNOME desktop. His is very customized. He's, not unlike Zorin and not unlike Pop OS before the Cosmic Desktop. But he's still in the process. I think it's going to be something in a while, kind of like how Cosmic. I think it will finally come into play. I love the original Pop OS. I was on that for a number of years and always had pretty decent results with it using OBS. But when it went to Cosmic, it's just, I haven't tried it now for 6 months. I had to give it up because what it did with OBS just kind of messed things up. I don't know if that's improved. And I kind of like the Cosmic Desktop, but I'm kind of, I'm a GNOME kind of person. I really like my GNOME desktop. So I ended up going to a Linux Mint 22.3. Sorry, Mint people, I talk about it a lot. I do not, when it comes to the GUI, it still looks old. They've improved it over the years. And then I just don't like the icons. But the great thing about Linux is it's just so customizable. Even the Cinnamon desktop, I didn't realize how much Cinnamon was customizable. I got my desktop over, on my other hard drive set up really nice. But when it comes down to it, some Ubuntu bases just don't hold a candle to, like Endeavor Arch as far as performance. You're always dealing with the bleeding edge at times on Arch, which can bite you in the ass. It hasn't really bit me in the ass yet. There has been, a couple of things that over the past, I've been on Endeavor for a couple of years now, where things have messed up. No different than like on Windows in a way, but it gets fixed a lot quicker. A lot quicker. The difference, they have Actually, on Linux Mint, they upped it to this 7.0 kernel, but I believe Endeavor is on the 7.43. And then the NVIDIA driver is the 6. Let's see, the 610. So Ubuntu already has not Ubuntu, Endeavor already has the NVIDIA 610. I think Windows is on 613. That's the last one I updated to. It might be up higher right now. So I get better results in Endeavor. Plus something about Linux Mint and maybe the Cinnamon desktop. I use bottles to run StreamerBot. This is StreamerBot. It's a Windows program. Does all the cool little things that you see on my stream and others. You get a lot of actions, and it just
What a boomer.
I know. Doing stuff like that. Bottles isn't working extremely well in Linux Mint, and when using Mint, you get a chat feed that can pop up. You can use. I also have used the web app or web page. Basically, this is a web page, but it comes out of the StreamerBot. The chat does not work. It stays blank. It has to do with WebView 2, which I've gotten installed. It runs on Endeavor. It ran in Zorn when I was testing out Zorn. It ran in Anduin OS when I was testing out Anduin OS. Does not run in Linux Mint. Don't know why. There are issues if you look it up. If you ask Google, it'll tell you, yes, there are known issues. It gives you a bunch of stuff to try to fix it. I'm like, I'm not going to that. But recently, I don't know if it's a bottle update, Linux Mint update, whatever. I can't even get StreamerBot installed to in bottles to even open. So that was going to be my backup of a backup. I actually was going to use that to help update my Windows setup. Do you want to talk about a little bit? So if you're on Windows and you're moving to Linux and you want to use your same system, I would suggest duplicating your scene collection, renaming it to, I don't know, Windows Update, Windows Move, or whatever, just so it names differently, and remove all audio, all screen and Windows or display captures, all game captures, because Linux doesn't have game capture unless you are very particular and want to use the VK capture plugin. Text will change. Oh, that's gotta be Cody. What is up, Cody? And I know why that turned that off for a minute. Hold on. Oh, what a dumb. Where is it? Didn't tell me you were in the room, Cody. going in the wrong one. First words.
Welcome the Sushi Dragon to the stream.
I didn't want to test. I wanted to enable it. All right. If you say, let's see, hold on. Yeah. If you say hello again, Cody, you'll get a welcome. It should work now. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Just playing around, changing my scenes around a little bit. Talking about moves. Try it one more time. I just reset it. Let's see if, because I needed to turn some things off because I don't see my own text, so I have to change some things when I'm testing it out.
Welcome Claudiac Lamer to the stream.
There he is. Got that to work. Yay. And then I forget what I turn on and off or turn off till it doesn't work. So I was talking about like if you're going to import or export your scenes and you want to use your same Windows scene over in Linux, there are things that don't match up. The audio does not match up. It uses a different audio type setup. So you got to remove all your audio. Got to remove all your screen share, display capture, whatever you have set up, game capture. Got to remove that completely. Yeah, you're going to have to add it back in if you move to Linux, but it is going to be easier to do. You will find if you do it that way, your system, because a lot of times OBS will start crashing because it's looking for things that are not there. So just a suggestion. And the same thing, if you want to, like as I want to fix my Windows setup, I can basically take my Linux setup, save myself half the time, remove the Linux audio out of it and screen capture and that. I don't do gaming. I don't have to worry about that. Your text sources will be different. Windows uses text GDI. Linux uses text freestyle unless you have installed the pthread plugin, because you can have text freestyle and text pthread. In Windows, they will match up with StreamerBot under text GDI because you're just going to connect that source to it. So yep, back on Endeavor. I haven't left Endeavor. Let's see. There we go. Okay. And I decided to go with the chat on the side here. I haven't fully left Endeavor. I do stream back and forth. I've been playing with Debian testing. Debian for this. I know you can probably use testing in that, but Debian trying to get OBS decently without, because PPA. So I know I heard that there's workarounds in that, but you're not going to get OBS built right unless you use a flat pack. And until they start doing more flat pack plugins, I'm not going to use a flat pack. Plus, I can't do music like this. How do you like my new music player? I changed my lower third to slide out instead of fade in and out. It looks like when it pops open, it makes the thing go around. Baby Debbie and Sid, but you're on the rolling release and using flat pack. Yeah. I mean, not everybody, not every, especially over in the Linux world, not everybody does, all this. And they're fine with the flat pack. But I am not. It's OBS Lite, in my opinion. You can't use VLC sources in it, no matter what you try to do. You will not be able to have a Tuna plugin, so you won't be able to do music like this. But I do things differently. I do a lot with my setup. You prefer repo but you're not going to get like a current OBS. You're going to get an older. You're going to get what Debian builds is what you're going to get, or something like the RPMs and all that. Now the AUR, the Titan build is not official, but Titan is a helper over at the forum. But you use whatever the developer recommends, yeah. The OBS people will say just use the flat pack. Again. Let's see. I keep changing my camera off and that.
Welcome, Prophetic 777 to the stream.
Prophetic is back. Hello, Prophetic. Oops. Got to rearrange some of my stuff. They didn't want that to hide there. What's up, Prophetic? So do you like the colors, Cody? Nice, darker, easier to read, not so bright. The goatee is looking good. It's gray. And though the top, I got the gray going on the side, but I didn't put any, like yesterday I took a shower and then I didn't put any gel in my hair because my hair is really fine and I'm driving in the car. I look in the rearview mirror, which is slightly, like, oh shit, look at all that gray hair. But not bad for going on 70, right? I'm going on 70. Usually Sid Branch uses the latest packages, but don't know how latest. Yeah, but it depends on who's throwing it into, the repo. But not bad, right? I mean, if you look, if I look real close, you'll see the gray in there. My wife hates me because of she went gray. Well, my wife is 8 years younger than I am, but she's got a very, very pretty natural gray. She doesn't color her hair at all. She's only colored her hair a couple times in the oh shit, almost 40 years we've been together. We started dating 42 years ago. But she's got this kind of silver brownish gray that women have gone up to go, I wish I could color my hair like that. The shiny silver gray is nice. It's a new fad for some younger ladies when they dye it. Yeah, she's had women go, I wish I could color my hair like that. And my wife's like, I don't color it. That's the way it is. But unlike my dad, unfortunately, my dad passed away right before his 70th birthday. And he still had dark hair, even going through, he had lymphoma. and going through a lot of treatments. He still had his dark hair. I know they say that men usually get their hair traits from their mom. My mom was 8 years younger than my dad. But she was gray for as long as I can remember. I remember she used to dye her hair and that. But she was gray. I love, well before she deserved to, But oh well. So, but all the gray's right in here, and I cannot grow a full beard. The cheeks and that, I could probably grow one of those Ahabs where it's all down in here. But this is very like sparse and gets very bristly. Your dad has a lot of dark hair too. He's 67. Although when I, go for a haircut, and then all that hair, all I see is gray falling on the cover, the robe or whatever they call. That's how your facial hair is, Cody. You're trying to grow a full beard. I wouldn't. I like a very, I don't let it grow too long before I'm trimming it. My wife kind of likes it. I had one for a number of years, and then I decided to shave it, and she's like, "Who told you to do that?" All right, iced coffee done now to iced tea. I hope everything's going well where you guys are at. Is it warm down there in southern Indiana? Southern Illinois. Cody, what about? I know I probably asked you, prophetic. Where about you at? Where about you at? It's 85 here today so far. The city of brotherly shove. Oh, you in Philly? We went back in 2013. We went on our longest vacation and road trip. We took just about 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, it was 14 days, 2 weeks. Might have been 15 days. And we drove. It was my son's birthday, and we drove to Sandusky to go to Cedar Point for the amusement park. That was just for his birthday. And then from there, we drove to New York. We spent a couple of days in New York. Actually, we were on the Jersey side, in Secaucus, I think. Then we went down to Philly. But again, we stayed on the Jersey side because it was actually cheaper. Todd, 85, it feels like 91. Yeah, it's 85 here. It says feels like 88. But so we went to Philly and had a real Philly cheesesteak. Cheesesteak sandwich. But when we went down to Philly, one day we only had like one day in our itinerary to stay in. We put 2 days, but one day it just rained. It rained and it rained and it rained. There was no way we were going into Philly. We ended up going to see, I think at the time, Iron Man 3 came out, so in 3D. So we went to see Iron Man 3 in 3D. And my son he's always had this thing about shopping malls. So he was really happy that we went to a shopping mall in New Jersey. And then we went to Gettysburg. We ended up our trip in Gettysburg. Did not set up enough time in Gettysburg. Real interesting. I wish we'd have stayed for one of the ghost walks that they have there. But I forget the name of the place. We went to all the places to go to, the where the Independence Hall. We went to Independence Hall, and one of the main buildings over there, I guess, because is it Geno's or something?
Please continue. I'm trying to see how many times I can roll my eyes before they get stuck.
The computer just took over. I did not say story time. Wow. My voice control works really well. Every once in a while it picks up something else.
Welcome JJBB 1261 to the stream.
Hey JJ. Yeah. Well, she, I don't pay her, It's I jip her out of it. I'm like our president. But Gettysburg was really, I wish we would have spent more time in Gettysburg than that. That was really nice. Computers, yeah, and she got sad. I guess I should have moved in the story.
Kodiakalema says, computer, hush or you're getting unplugged.
I don't think my text was coming out because I think I had a text message that comes up on that too. I have to look. But yeah, Philly was sweet. But yeah, I love how historical richness of Philly. Got to check out the museums in it. Yeah, unfortunately, they were working. We had walked then. We had walked to Edgar Allan Poe's house. I guess they were in the process of remodeling it or cleaning it up. I can't remember. Let's look at the map here. They were pretty close together. I know I seen Geno's on YouTube and all that, but like the people said, no, that's where all the tourists go. And it was let's see here. I'm looking at a map here. Can't remember the name. It might have been Jim South. Um, let's see. It was I won't say it was a dive, but it definitely wasn't, you know, it was down, it was in the middle of the street or middle of the block. Can't remember what street it was on. 6th. Let's see. It could have been Angel Nose, but what side? Yeah, it's trying to remember how we walked there. But yeah, it was pretty good. You know, it's like having an Italian beef anywhere else except Chicago, you know, or not having an Italian beef in Chicago and try to eat it somewhere else. Computer main view.
Here is the main view, boss.
So let me look at a couple of things here. I want to look at that my text message. I know that I have the TTS, but then I have a text message that goes with it that it didn't notice it. This group. Okay, it was. Oh, it doesn't bring up the last message. Okay. Why don't I do this?
Steve's very own says, "Did I ever tell you Martin is a bore?"
Yeah, I should have text coming up down at the bottom there. I do the. Don't tell Martin that. Let's see. Let me look at my actions here. Doom, doom. All right, where did I put my? Where did I put my? Where the frack did I put my TTX actions? I got my TTS down here. Oh, there it is. The TTS from chat. Okay. Oh, what the? Aha. One of my notification things didn't update right. Okay. Make sure that that's right here. Don't mind me. Yeah, I should fix it. All right. All right, let's test this out. Okay, let's see if this works.
Steve's very own says, I am tired of beans.
There we go. Was missing the text portion, the text itself. Let's see, I want to change the color on that. You know what I've been using on Linux, the Flatpak program builder, which is somewhat like VS Code.
Steve's very own says, are you done testing?
Oh, shoot. I didn't refresh this. Do. Anytime you change some HTML in another file, you have to refresh the action. Okay.
Steve's very own
There we
says,
go.
really, I am tired of talking.
All right. Got that fixed. What else? I know one thing that I haven't tested out. I should be able to do without running a command. Perfect. Didn't have to fix anything there. Let's see. So I had been asked a couple times, am I worried about the AUR hacks? If the plugins, now let me show you a list of me plugins. Or a list of stuff I've installed from the AUR. I keep it in a text file now. If you're ever, I'm sure most of you real hardcore Arch users know this for sure, but if you're on Arch and you're just kind of learning, or you've installed stuff on the AUR from the AUR and you're not sure what you did, the command is yay space dash capital Q and then M, and it will run a list of stuff that you installed through the AUR. And I made a check. So I have a total of 49 packages, which is quite a bit, but 41 of them alone are for OBS. So what's not for OBS? Well, the app image launcher, it helps integrate app images into your system better. I know there's another program out there now, I think, that kind of does it, but I've always used app image launcher. So I use a touch portal app image and a social stream ninja app image. I was using a YouTube music app image, but no, actually, yes. On Arch, I'm using the YouTube app image. So I got 3 app images that I'm using. Then for my brother printer, I got the packages for that. And then let's see, GDM settings. I forget what I did there, but I know I updated. So the GNOME extension, the blur filter, they now have glass blur to it. But it wasn't fully released yet, but you can download it. That actually, I think that one I compiled myself. Then Google Chrome. Oh, I'm sorry, I always got to have Chrome. So pretty much from here, down to here are all OBS. So majority of them OBS plugins. Majority of them are also packaged by Titan, who does the Titan build of the OBS. I pretty much trust his stuff is not going to be taken over because he watches it and he updates it. He does a real nice job of updating it. And then a number of the other plugins, a couple of them are by this Danaka 91. He does a few here too. There's a couple of them that are by someone else. But what I did was I copied all the packager names, so I can kind of double check if it's been taken over. I think I also will put a go back and go through and date these and when the last one was dated. Piper TTS and Python Sound Device are for my Piper, it comes with Speakaboo, but I don't think that's what this. I was going to build my own TTS and run across Speakaboo. Then this is audio plugins, and then this has to do with VLC. And Arch VLC is kind of split up, and you got to download some, especially to get it to work in OBS. So I create a list so I can keep an eye on them when there is an update. I can go back to the AUR and see. I will not install, download anything that I just want to play with. It's either if it's a program that it's going to be a flat pack, or I'll go through Pac-Man if it's in the Pac-Man. So those are all what I use pretty much for OBS. So 49 of my AUR installs, 41 of my 49 are for OBS. That's quite a bit, right? Yeah, I have like 30. I think I reduced a couple. I took a couple out. And I see all these people coming to Arch from Windows, and it's like, oh, I don't know if you really want to do that. But that's how I keep myself organized with what I install. Now, I wouldn't have to worry about that so much if I was on an Ubuntu base and that, but again, the performance, the quality, I mean, I had in Linux Mint, I had to reduce my from 1920 1080 to 1280 720, from 1080 to 720, and still didn't save on a lot of resources. It just didn't run extremely well. There's two things that I created. One is a hologram that I'm going to see. The noise plugin by Finite Singularity on Linux is it uses a lot of resources. It's very resource intensive, even on Arch. And I ran it Sunday with the noise plugin associated with it. I took it out, so I'm going to see how it runs now. Doesn't look as good as when it goes. It's just that, but where I had dropped to 35, 37 frames per second, and it really chugged on the stream. I removed the noise filter, dropped down to 58 and back up to 60, so we're doing fine. It still looks good. It probably should, hopefully it should sound good. There's my son. Yep, hologram is working.
Welcome hence to the stream.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh, God. No, thanks, Hans. All right, I knew this wasn't going to be a long stream. I was working on some stuff. My son's ready. We have National Night Out is going on, I think, around the country. JJ asks, how do we know you're not actually here? Let me do the highlight. See if that works. There we go. I even fixed that color in that. Oh, what? Okay, that didn't work right. Okay. Okay, it's up here. Well, you just won't know. You know, it's like, am I a round Earth or am I a flat Earth? Okay, that's why. I didn't update that. Oh, I did. That's right. All right. Nope. Oh, I think I know. That's what I didn't do. Another suggestion. When you are using OBS and StreamerBot and moving to, like, I moved back and forth between distributions. I usually use Steve's Very Own when I install as the username for the computer. Well, this one I use Steven, and I forget to change those. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Maybe he is AI. So I'm pretty proud. I made my own chat highlight. I made my own music player. I made my own lower third. But unfortunately, very short stream today. Look at my son. JJ, for one, he welcomes the new AI overlord. I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords. Let's face it, if you're in America, it can't be any worse. Just a thought. Just a thought. All right, my friends. Well, I have to, I'm sorry to chat and run, but I have to go. I have to go. My son's got karate tonight, and we're going to go check out National Night Out. It's where the police and the area, like, about safety and that. And then, you know, everybody's out robbing the houses while the cops are over there. But they give away free hot dogs, you know, and popcorn. So, all right. So tomorrow I hopefully should be streaming, and we will be doing, we're doing GeoGuessr twice a week now. Let's say goodbye. If my actions work here, there we go. All right. Thanks to Hans for wasting some channel points. Cody Lamer was in the chat as a moderator. StreamerBot should not be in there. But thank you, Cody, JJ, and Hans on Twitch. Why are my bots in there? They're not supposed to be in there. Oh. Thanks for Prophetic for being on YouTube. So tomorrow, Wednesday with Borders, where I pick one particular country, and I have 2 minutes to find out where I am in that country, and the goal is to be within a kilometer. And I have, the closest I came was 17 kilometers. So check that out. See you tomorrow. Bye.